ladies and gentlemen, Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to this week's episode of WWE Raw Recap Show. Got a lot to get to this evening. Of course, they're building up for the Bad Blood Premium Live event coming to Atlanta, Georgia on October 7th, I do believe. Uh, and but this week's Raw takes place at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, home of the Hart family. But like I said, a lot of things to get to today. We had the Wyatt Six taking on the American Made in a eight-person street fight. Also had a match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The champions Jay Cargill and Bianca Belair took on the Unholy Union. Speaking of the Hart family, Bret the Hitman Hart made an appearance, the two-time Hall of Famer. Uh, had a good match here with Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Zelina Vega and Ira Valkyrie had a mystery partner to take on the Pure Fusion collection. That is Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler. Then the main event was a four-way to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Jey Uso, uh, Ilya Dragunov, Pete Dunne, and Braun Strowman all fought to see who was going to be that number one contender. But before I get started, let's do the usual sales pitch here. If you like what you're hearing, hit that like button, drop a comment, let me know what you thought about this week's Raw. Also, are you looking forward to Bad Blood? Because a few matches did get announced. Uh, Also, be a champ and click on that subscribe button along with that notification bell. With all that out of the way, let's let her rip. All right, like I said, a lot to get to. Kicking off this week's Raw is the eight-person street fight. The American made the Creed brothers, along with Ivy Nile and Chad Gable, their leader, going up against the Wyatt Six, Nikki Cross, uh, Gacy, Dexter Loomis, and gosh, and Big Rowan. A lot of things turned out in this match. A lot of toys playing with. Not as brutal, of course, as the AEW street fights, but we'll discuss AEW on AEW's program. Anyway, it started out with Aya and Nikki Cross trading blows. Then the boys joined in. The American May put Rowan through a table onto the floor, then burying stuff on top of him. After that, they took the advantage, took turns beating on Gacy and Loomis, giving their fair share of their wrath. Rowan will wake up and uh, mount a comeback. Uh, Uncle Howdy would take out Julius Creed. Then Dexter Loomis would hit the top rope splash, giving them the victory. So, uh, gotta believe this feud is done with now, since uh, the Six has pretty much annihilated the American made every which way they can by now. So, um, maybe now the Wyatts will go on to somebody else, as well as the American made. All right, next segment feature Finn Balor. He actually said that Damien screwed him before he screwed Damien. Some truth behind that. If you remember, there's a couple times where it looked like Damien almost cost Finn Balor uh, championship when he was going against Seth Rollins. And there were a few things that Finn wanted to get off his chest, so he called out Damian Priest. Priest came in and said, "Look, I'll let you say your piece, and I'm going to give you a whipping." Well, he didn't say that, of course, but then Finn Balor, said, said what he had to say, get off his chest, and then Priest, talked back. Finn said, "Hey, do you know the usual Judgment Day playbook. He, or Damien was like, "Yeah, I wrote it," and then here comes the rest of or the Judgment Day members. Uh, Rhea Ripley would try to come out and help, but the numbers game was not in their favor. Liv Morgan would beat her with the uh, crutch. Damian Priest would actually cover Rhea for a little bit as they kept beating, but they would actually beat up his ribs. Uh, then Jay Uso would come to the ring and chase him off with a chair. Uh, seemed like the crowd was actually chanting "Yeet" or "Yeet, Yeet, Yeet," and one of Uso come out later. There was actually somebody asked a question: "What do you hate? What's a typical thing you kind of don't like in wrestling?" This is one of them. It's like, okay, what don't need an interest music to come out and save or save your friends or save a chick you're trying to hit on, even in storyline mode. But pretty good segment. Two matchups actually announced. One being Rhea Ripley going against Liv Morgan, and the other Ben Balor going against Damian Priest at Bad Blood. All right, here we go. Next match features the former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Unholy Union, taking on the current champions, Bianca Belair and Jay Cargill. Just like their match at Bash of Berlin, this was actually a pretty good match as well. Didn't get enough time, but uh, like I said, another good showing from these two teams. I don't know if it's just that chemistry between the four women is that good, or uh, just that unholy union is better than what some people were said, along with Bianca Belair and Jay Cargill. Some things just click better than others. But uh, from again, Jay Cargill and Bianca had their way in the beginning. Uh, then they get a little heat on Jade, then a little more heat on uh, Bianca Belair, doing the same shenanigans, good double team moves in this match, just like their match at Bash in Berlin. But uh, the champions would come back, hit their finisher, keeping their tag team championship. So maybe this is another situation where this little program is done. Uh, more on the Pure Fusion Collective later, but I would love to see Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler take on Belair and Carhill. Think it'll be a good match, but is there a week goes by that I don't say that? Anyway, let me know what you feel about that in the comments. All right, up next, we finally get to see the legend himself, the two-time Hall of Famer, Bret the Hitman Hart. Uh, a little older, but a whole lot. Seems like he's a whole lot tanner now. I guess retirement's doing him pretty good. They did announce that Survivor Series will be in Vancouver. Bart said he is, not only proud that he was a champion, but a champion from Canada to boot. And that's when Gunther came in. Of course, Gunther, line of the night. Gotta love it. He said Bret Hart was a close second of being his favorite. And of course, his favorite being Bill Goldberg. So that definitely the line of the night. Out comes Sami Zayn challenging Gunther again for the heavyweight championship. Gunther said, "You're not even on Bret Hart's level. Definitely not on his level." Him being Gunther. Bret Hart got on the mic, called Gunther a coward when he walked away. Sami Zayn would get in Gunther's face. They would brawl a little bit until security came and broke it up. But it looks like, even though it's not fully announced, looks like this match might be on Bad Blood as well. Not announced yet, but uh, trying to trying to put it together, put a little storyline. All right, next up is a match between Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Of course, Dominic representing the Judgment Day, Dragon Lee, the LWO. Both members of the teams were at ringside. Dominic would take over after countering a cross body block with a drop kick. Lee will make a comeback here with a Hurricanrana, gets a double stomp, gets him a 2 count thanks to JD McDonough. This will lead to a brawl outside the ring between the two factions, and this also would distract the referee and gives Liv Morgan an opportunity to clip Dragon Lee's knee. 619 frog splash by Dominic Mysterio would give him the win on this one, but gotta give uh gotta give the assist to not only Judgment Day but the LWO's distraction and Liv Morgan for helping him pull that one off. Now it's time for the sixth female tag team match. It is the Pure Fusion Collective. Uh, Sonya Deville, the leader of the group, with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler versus Zelina Vega, Ira Valkyrie, and their mystery partner. Come on, you had to guess it. It was Natalia Neidhart. Uh, anyway, they come in quickly, got the advantage on Zelina Vega. Pretty much worked on her most of the match. They would finally make a comeback. Natalia would get the hot tag going after Zoe Stark. She locks in the sharpshooter, getting the tap out win. As you see there, Ira had the half crab. Zelina had the full Boston crab. Uh, although them backs that way, Zoe Stark couldn't get no help and far enough away from the ropes. Uh, Getting a tap out win. I I call this as one of those why not kind of a little feel good. Um, let the hometown girl win or hometown talent win. Especially we ain't seen Natalia on TV in a while. Still look pretty decent in the ring, but I still don't like sometimes where they'll win one, then lose a couple, win a couple, two or three, then lose. But it seemed like they'd be a little more dominant than what they've been put. But there's always something brewing. I don't know if somebody else kind of handles the female talent, but again, short match, nothing to it. A little hit on Selena, then Natty making everybody pop, getting that sharpshooter tap out win. All right, now it's time for the Drew McIntyre segment. Very proud that and happy that he supposedly ended CM Punk. He's got a movie coming out on the actually a major motion picture. It's going to be getting in theaters and everything. It's not a straight to streaming or well, back in the day, straight to home video. But yeah, you know it's going to be in theaters and everything. Also, it's going to feature Dave Batista in it. Got the name of it. Sorry, but he was very He's got some bad news and was very disappointed. Very disappointed that his friend stepped in when he was about to end CM Punk. Uh, but way better. He got up. Didn't look like he was going back down on whatever Drew McIntyre had to say. But that's when Adam Pearce made it to the ring. He said he talked to CM Punk. Punk's in, and the match is made official. It is going to be a Hell in a Cell match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I actually definitely want to see that one. Uh, Somebody come buy me tickets and take me. Uh, Man, those tickets are expensive. So anyway, enough of that. I'll probably talk more about that on Thursday. But uh, let's go to the semi-main event. All right, next match features another Hall of Famer, Rey Mysterio, took took on Finn Balor. Match was made earlier in the evening. Uh, Pretty much Finn took over in the beginning of it. Uh, Nothing much of this match either. Mysterio would make a comeback. Got all his signature stuff in. But when he went for a 619, Finn was able to grab him by the legs, wrapped him up in ropes, put him in a little half crab. Referee counted all the way to five, and Finn didn't let go, causing the disqualification. Uh, that's when Finn Balor finally let go, gave him a couple shotgun front drop kicks, one on the corner post and one uh, by the apron. So basically, this is a statement there saying, "Hey, Judgment Day, we're still the faction, we're still the bullies here, the top group in the on the Raw brand, actually. So be careful what where you want to step at, especially when it comes to Judgment Day." That's basically what this enforced. And this brings us to the main event of the evening. Jey Uso, Ilya Dragunov, Pete Dunne, and Braun Strowman in a fatal four-way to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, held by Braun Breaker. Still wish they called him Steiner, but that's neither here nor there. Uh, During the course of the night, though, Braun Breaker would kind of uh, introduce himself, so to speak, or uh, pretty much made aware that he knows what he's going up against, uh, whoever wins, and make sure to let them know that he is going to rip them apart, basically, or at least try to. But fatal four way stuff, they traded advantages. Uh, Ron Strowman would use his power a lot. Done with the manipulation stuff. Jey Uso with the kicks and some of the high flying stuff. Uh, Ilya with his very snug offense. I'm starting to dig him a little bit more and more. I see him. Uh, Looks like he keeps himself in good shape. That way, when he does those snug hits, kind of like Kevin Sullivan used to do back in his day, because he was a shorter guy and Dynamite Kid. Uh, Used that snug offense made it a little more believable. Uh, but the tide quickly changed. The pace quickened. Bronson Reed came in, took out Braun Strowman. Uh, then let's see, Jey Uso would hit the spear on Pete Doom, uh, or excuse me, Ilya Dragunov. Pete Doom would throw him out, try to steal one, but got two count. The H bomb on Doom from Ilya Dragunov. Uh, didn't get a chance to cover him. That's when Jey Uso came in, threw him out, hit the Uso splash 1, 2, 3, and now your new number one contender is Jey Uso, and that's who's got to challenge Braun Strowman or Braun Breaker. Too many Brauns. Give me this. Anyway, yeah, should be a decent match. Jey Uso uh, has shown he's getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, being a singles. Um, but more on that later. Do some shameless plugs here. Every Tuesday, I do a trivia show called Wrestling Trivia Tuesday, where I ask 5 questions all dealing with the sport of professional wrestling. So check that out on every Tuesday. Play along, share with friends, and have fun. Of course, right now you're watching the this week's edition of the WWE Raw Recap. I also do a AEW Dynamite recap, of course, this week. Going to have a lot to do with the aftermath of the All In pay per view. Usually have that on Thursdays. Speaking of Thursday, I do a live stream called Spot Show Live Stream, talking about the current events in pro wrestling. A lot to do with that. Probably definitely discuss uh, the All Out pay per view, the results of it, Unfortunately, I didn't, as as you well aware, I did not see that pay per view, but heard about it, saw a few clips in there, and all that will be discussed on this week's Spot Show live stream. Uh, if you're not really up to date with today's wrestling or not really a fan of it, or you're a younger fan, love today's wrestling, but want to know a little more about the history of pro wrestling, I got something for you. It's another live stream called Wrestling Gold Friday Night. That's on Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Saturday morning in Japan, and 5 a.m. Saturday in India. Uh, this week, of course, to today in wrestling history. Uh, Anything that I remember or stories I remember, definitely discuss all that. And I know this last week we did Mid South, and I mentioned that used to be Tri State. I actually found some decent Tri State uh, footage. So this week's edition of Wrestling Gold Friday Night is definitely going to be a golden oldie. Tri State Wrestling from 1978, I do believe. So yes, definitely want to check that out. As far as this week's Raw, uh, pretty decent, I thought. Some good build ups. Like I said, you got uh, Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, uh, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's Championship, uh, or World Women's Championship. Excuse me, I put that world in there. Also, the Hell in a Cell match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Would definitely love to see that live. And of course, what did I miss? The Jey Uso and Braun Breaker. Like I said, as far as predictions and who I like to win, that will come up probably the week before or the week of on the Spot Show live stream. So definitely that's why you want to hit that notification bell and come in and check that out live or at least a replay. Uh, as far as anything else, that's all I got for this evening. As far as this week's WWE recap, appreciate all you tuning in. Of course, if you made it this far, please do the like, comment, and be a champ and subscriber thing. Definitely helps me out here, and it's greatly appreciated. As far as anything else, hope you folks have a great rest of the week. Have a good one, and take it easy. Friends, drop a like button, leave a comment. Also, be a champ and hit that subscribe button. You can also check me out on social media, Facebook at Ronald Ray, on X or Twitter is RPATRPTV 46. Until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.